The Walking Dead Rewrite, Season 7, Episode 3, Service.
We've silenced the whispers.
Now, this episode would begin with the same ending as the last one. You would hear little pig, let me in, all in black, and then the first shot you see are the gates opening, and Negan says, well, and Spencer's like, who are you? Oh, you better be joking. Negan, Lucille, I know I had to make a pretty strong first impression. Negan would say hello to Rick, don't make me have to ask, and Rick would have to open the gate, and Negan would say, I miss you. And then he would say, oh, Rick, come out here, watch this. Kills the walker and says, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I love this. This is amazing. And of course, more important than ever, we would get to see, which is one thing I would never change, Rick hold Lucille. Now, after the intro, we would have Negan that says, okay, we're going to go take half of everything, blah, blah, blah. Same thing as in Gimple's version. And in this, we would get to see Rick try to say hi to Daryl, and Negan would shut that down right away. Now, this is all staying in the show. I think this is really good. I think Daryl and Rick and just kind of that emotional kind of like, I want to talk to my friend, that type of thing. You guys know what I mean, that type of thing. It really, really, really needs to stay in the show. It's really emotional, and the scene works. It does its job, and it's perfect. Now, I would also have the scene between Negan and Rosita, just kind of, really because obviously in my version, Abraham has been killed. So this scene as well, really good. A lot of suspense there. I don't even think she knew how much. I love this. I think it's amazing. I would have them taking the couches, the furniture, and he would have even a little orange crush as well, and basically keep walking along Alexandria and say, damn, I love this place. Now, the interview with Rick is something I also would keep. This is hilarious. This is fun. This is a good scene, and I think it's hilarious. And especially, I would not have messed with that guy. But that's not you anymore, is it? Nope. Then he asks about Maggie, and they would fake her death. I think this is amazing as well. And I would also have the holy crap scene. This is amazing. I mean, honestly, all of these scenes, I just can't for the life of me cut out of the show. It's just too darn funny, honestly. But yes, I would definitely have the Maggie fake out death for Negan and the Saviors. And also us as an audience, we would know she's at the hilltop, obviously. But in Gimple's version, I just found it so dumb because we didn't see Maggie up to this point in Gimple's version. So we don't know how Maggie's doing. We knew she was heading to hilltop, but in my version, we just saw her last episode. We know she's up on her feet again. So we know for sure that, okay, they're just messing with Negan. Because I find that when I was watching this, and I know a lot of people were watching this episode, their reaction was, oh, wait, is Maggie dead? Wait, what? Because we haven't seen her for a few episodes in Gimple's version. But in my version, this would make more sense because we would know right away this is a lie. Now, Carl's little outburst as well is amazing. I think this is great. You should go before you find out how dangerous we all are, and Negan would take all of their guns. Now, obviously, this is when we have the 2 guns that go missing. Now, this is all amazing. Olivia and her life at risk, Negan having lemonade with her, obviously Rick giving the speech in the church, who has them, the type of thing, not everybody's here, and you would have Rosita and Spencer that go get Daryl's bike. Now, this is amazing. I love all this stuff. It also shows Spencer and how much of a coward he is, and yeah, definitely, the whole people might still be with us type line, even though it is really annoying, this is something I would keep in the show. Why? Because Spencer, the actor that does Spencer, in my opinion, does such a great job playing off the cowardness, and I think it's all amazing. I think it's really, really good. Now, here's the only thing I would cut out. Rosita running off and finding a gun, that wouldn't happen. Rosita would just be like, shut up and put the bike in the back of the van and let's get back home. She would not run off in the woods like an idiot. She would not find a gun. Anything with the gun and whatever does not exist in my version. So they would take the bike, she'd tell Spencer to shut up about that, and they would leave, basically. Now, obviously, this part right here is amazing as well. I have a feeling I just know this is going to work out. You're my friend. It wasn't always that way. I love this. This is amazing. This is some really fun scenes right here. And then Rick finds the guns and gives them to Negan. Now, obviously, this is something that's really, really exciting, and you need to get everybody on board. Otherwise, we just go right back to square one. Now, next scene, we would cut over to Hilltop. We would have them being woken up, and basically walkers are flooding into Hilltop. Now, in this version, I would have Maggie, of course, and Glenn, and they would both hear it, and they would wake up, and Maggie and Glenn would basically try to save Hilltop, really, instead of Maggie and Sasha in my version. Now, Jesus, with, of course, his, awesome fighting skills, I'd keep all this. Glenn would be out there with Jesus fighting, so it wouldn't be Sasha, it would be Glenn and Jesus fighting the walkers. Obviously, we know Glenn can defend himself, so there is no problem there. And Maggie would basically tell Glenn, I've got an idea. And Glenn says, you got this? And Maggie says, I got this. And she would basically take the tractor, and everything would go down the way it goes here. I think this is amazing. And you would have the walkers that are taken out, and Gregory hiding in his a little room in the hilltop like a coward. And Maggie crushes some walkers and crushes the car. Absolutely love it. Now, this is when Rosita and Spencer would return with the bike, and I would have everything go down the way it goes here. I think this is amazing. You would have Michonne. Obviously, we know from the previous episode she was out there with the rifle. We get to see her in this episode, and basically she has to give the rifle over to Rick so Rick can give the gun over to Negan, and also the deer as well, too. Now, Dwight saying you can have the bike back, just say the word. Daryl doesn't say a darn thing. This is in his character not to say I'm Negan. I think this is in Daryl's character to do something like this. Daryl is the one person that will not break, or at least it would take a lot for him to break. So this makes a lot of sense, and Dwight would ride off just like in Gimple's version. Now, Rick asking if Daryl can stay, I think is also something I would keep. It's really sad to us, but it just shows how powerful Negan is, So, and Daryl wouldn't say anything, just like in Gimple's version. I love the line when Negan says, I want you to hear that again. If you don't have something interesting for us, somebody's gonna die. And no more magic guns. And then, of course, he would take Lucille and he would basically leave. Now, this scene with Rick looking away at Daryl as they drive away, this is sad, but my goodness, is it ever amazing. I mean, honestly, this shows the power Negan has. The whole purpose of this episode is to show the power that Negan has and also lighten his character a little bit. Give him some more comedy scenes. So you know what? All of this stuff at Alexandria, I honestly think, aside from Rosita finding the gun, it is absolutely wonderfully done, and I'm keeping every last bit of it. Now, of course, the scene with Spencer and Rick has to happen. Basically, Abraham and them, and, were they lucky too? And Rick would be like, you say anything to me like that again, I'll break your jaw, knock your teeth out. Say yes. Yes. I love this. I think this is absolutely amazing, and I'm going to keep it in the show. Now, Rick talking about Shane and how he knows Judith isn't his. Oh my God, this is amazing dialogue. I mean, honestly, this dialogue is so underrated. This scene is so good. And they would basically take their mattresses and that would be that. I think this is amazing. Now, the burning of the mattresses as well just shows how powerful Negan is once again. And I just think it's amazing. So I'm going to keep this as well. Now, Jesus would be arguing with Gregory about letting Maggie and Glenn stay, and he would basically say, I'm not turning in a pregnant woman who saved us. I'm not turning away Glenn either. And basically Gregory would be like, who the hell is Glenn? Just totally careless, totally just, that's such a Gregory kind of thing to say, And basically what would end up happening is that Glenn and Maggie would end up storming in, just like Maggie and Sasha did. But in this version, basically Glenn would say, just tell me how I can make this work, okay? I need to make sure she stays safe, and I can't do that if this one keeps getting in our way. And Glenn would say, seriously, what is your problem? And Gregory would just kind of smile at him. And then the conversation would be interrupted by some trucks entering Hilltop, and Simon is on his way to the Barrington house. And basically they have to rush Glenn and Maggie into the closet, and maybe they get out of this alive. Now, basically, Rick would be calling for Carl, of course. He wants him to come down so they can talk about what happened and his little outburst in the armory, of course. He wants to talk to him about it. He calls Carl's name 3 times, and then Rick kind of has that worried look on his face as he walks up the stairs to see if he's there. Then, of course, we cut to Carl. We have Negan and them driving inside the, of course, vehicle on their way to, obviously, the sanctuary after getting all these supplies and all the mattresses and all that kind of stuff. And basically, we have Carl that is hiding in the back of the truck, and he takes a big machine gun and he points it at the camera, getting ready to fire at whatever comes at him once they open those doors in the back. So that is the end of Season 7, Episode 3, Service. Now, obviously, what is going to happen to Carl now that he is at the Sanctuary, now that they are going to be going to the Sanctuary? What is going to happen? How is Rick going to handle Carl being gone, and is he even going to know? How is he going to find out? A lot of questions going on right now. Will Maggie and Glenn be able to stay at Hilltop? Have they earned their keep? Or will Gregory be an idiot going forward either way? That's kind of remaining to be seen right now. And, of course, we have Simon that is showing up at the Hilltop now. And will Glenn and Maggie be able to stay hidden? So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This episode is really an episode to try to see how powerful Negan really can be and how kind of controlling he can be, as well as getting to see Maggie and Glenn try to prove themselves at Hilltop. Let's see if it matters, or let's see if Gregory will continue to be the idiot that he is. We have Simon that's on his way there now. And of course, Carl now is on his way to the Sanctuary, and now he's going to know as well where Negan lives. But how will Negan handle Carl when the situation comes? Those are some of the big questions right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and stay tuned because coming up next, The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 4, Sing Me a Song.